Hey everybody, Congressman Brian Mast here. Now I'm out at the St. Lucie Lock and Dam. We've done many videos here, many recordings over the years as we have discharges, and the water from Lake Okeechobee is being discharged into the St. Lucie estuary starting today. Now for those that may be new to our community, you've moved in the last couple of years, you may not have experienced a toxic summer before like we have in years past, like 2016, 2018, when that has happened. And when the water turns a thick guacamole-like consistency and that same green color with a stench that's somewhere between a rotting carcass and year-old milk that's been sitting out, that is what you get. Animals die, businesses suffer, lives are put at risk, and in fact the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, actually says that the water is unsafe above 8 parts per billion microcystin. That is the toxin that's in that green water, those blue-green algal blooms. And our water reaches often 100 times more than that EPA toxicity level, and it's simply not safe for living conditions. We shouldn't have to be in this kind of situation. Not this year, not in 2024, not in 2018, not in 2016. The Army Corps will say that discharging right now in February of 24 is better than having to discharge in, say, June or July of 2024. And there's a fact in that. That is true because it's not as hot right now, but no discharges at all would be necessary. That should be the case, period, if the Army Corps would manage Lake Okeechobee in a way that prioritizes Floridians' public health instead of just prioritizing keeping high levels on Lake Okeechobee. Now, as you may recall, the Army Corps, they currently manage Lake Okeechobee under an outdated schedule called the Lake Okeechobee Regulation Schedule. A lot of people just know it as LORS. Now, not only is the LORS plan more than a decade old, but it's literally, and it's on debunked science. It's on bad data. It has bad assumptions that don't even think that they're doing harm to our estuaries here. And that's why I fought in Congress to pass a law, number one, that required the Army Corps to change how they manage Lake Okeechobee. That was the first law that we passed in that. And then when they completed that plan, that new plan, it got finished, it became something different. It became known as LOSUM, or the Lake Okeechobee System Operating Manual. But like anything in Washington, D.C., it gets jammed up by bureaucrats. It gets jammed up there, and the bureaucrats that jammed this thing up late in the game was the National Marine Fisheries. And what they did is, as it was about to be implemented, they jumped in and they came in and they said, no, we have a problem. Now because of this unnecessary red tape, we are getting delayed with something that should have been implemented last year. And because it wasn't implemented, now we're getting discharges again. Under that new system, right now, we should not be getting discharges. Now, the way the new plan works is that it divides into zones, and those zones are based upon how deep Lake Okeechobee is at a certain point in time during the year. Now, right now, if we were operating under LOSUM, so everybody is clear on this, we would be in Zone D as we sit right now today. And in Zone D as we sit right now today, the St. Lucie gets 0 discharges. But instead, under the current operations, under the LORS operations, the Army Corps is planning to send us an average of 1,800 cubic feet per second out of that lock and dam structure behind us. That is a massive amount of water being dumped onto our saltwater estuaries. Remember, this is fresh water, it's brown water, it's loaded with phosphorus and nitrogen, and out in our coastal estuaries, it's salt water, it's Bahama blue water, it's got the seagrass, the manatee, the sea turtles, the dolphin, everything that belongs in that salt water. And when they dump this brown fresh water out there, they destroy it. And I always tell people, it's like a wildfire under the water. What you see a wildfire do on the land to a forest, that's what it does to the seagrass under the water. And yes, the Army Corps will say that they're discharging the water now because they see this as an opportunity to lower the level of the lake before the water turns into what they know it's going to be. The Army Corps knows that as we get closer to summer, the temperatures get higher, all of the nutrients in Lake Okeechobee, that water is going to turn green, it's going to turn toxic, and so they see that as an opportunity to lower the level before it turns toxic. But what they're doing is they're creating the conditions out here to make toxic blue-green algal blooms in our coastal estuary. This is on top of the fact that they artificially keep Lake Okeechobee at an artificially high level during dry periods. This is why we're in this situation. The bottom line is Lake Okeechobee water needs to be sent south into the Everglades as God intended it to do year after year, year round, rather than holding the Lake Okeechobee to a high level just to dump it onto our coast when the lake gets too high. And again, remember, this doesn't just hurt our coastal estuary here on the East Coast. It hurts the Caloosahatchee side, Naples, Fort Myers. It exacerbates what happens with red tide. It creates the conditions for blue-green algae. Nothing more than 0 discharges is acceptable. I'm going to keep fighting on this issue as always. That's the reality check that's going on right now with this proposal of discharges, and I'll keep you all updated as always. Hey everyone, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please click like and subscribe. I will be back on YouTube with more exclusive content, so stay tuned.